Castle is literally the glue that holds Team Rainbow together. With all of these extremely stubborn and hard-headed personalities on the roster, Castle is like the only one that can bring everyone together and chill them out when needed. He doesn't have a big ego and genuinely cares for everyone on his team, no matter who they are. And did you know Castle had a possible football career? Everyone, welcome to Castle's Opera lore video. I'm Sir Jeppy, and I love the lore of Rainbow Six Siege. Now, if you're someone who also enjoys the lore of this amazing game too, then please subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a like to show your support for the channel. All right, so let's start things off as we always do with where and when Castle was born. So Castle's real name is actually Miles Campbell. Freaking finally, a name I can actually pronounce correctly. Well, Miles was born on September 20th in the great city of Sherman Oaks, California. Anyone here share a birthday with Castle on September 20th? Let me know in the comments below. Real quick, guys, before we get into Castle's absolutely amazing lore, I have something really cool I want to share with you guys, and longtime fans of the channel are going to be so happy for me. I just got my very first sponsor here on my YouTube channel, and guess what it is? It's Raid freaking Shadow Legends. You know, that amazing game with the absolutely beautiful graphics that everybody knows about, unless you live underneath a rock. Raid reached out to me and wanted me to share with you guys this very mysterious and dark new faction being added into the game. They're called the Shadowkin and look so freaking cool. As you can see, the Shadowkin are heavily inspired by the mythos of medieval Japan, along with the load-borne Eastern Asian influences. They've got nimble ninjas, sharp samurai, ominous oni, and a whole host of mythical badasses. These guys are shrouded in mystery. No one's heard of them for hundreds of years, up until just a few months ago when they revealed themselves as allied with the dwarves of the Neresian Union. Are they good? Are they bad? Why have they returned? And why now? They've only just arrived, so get ready to meet new members as they arrive in the game. So I've actually been playing a lot of Raid recently and kind of fell in love with the game almost instantly. First time I went up against this dragon, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I loaded up my entire squad with the best gear I found, and the second time I went in to beat this goddamn dragon, I finally was able to beat him. And this month, Raid's releasing an insane amount of new content and new things to do. First up, they're releasing 11 amazing new champions, and I can't wait to see what they can do. They're also releasing almost 200 brand new missions to complete with an exclusive legendary champion as a reward if you manage to finish them. And if that's not enough, they're also adding 5 tough new levels to almost every single dungeon in the game. That's an incredible amount to add in just 1 month. And as always, Raid's getting bigger and better every single month, and it's never been easier to get started. So guys, don't be like me and wait to play this amazing game. Now click the link in the description or the link in the pinned comment down below to download Raid Shadow Legends for free, and I hope you guys unlock some super cool champions. Anyways, to be honest, we don't really get very much information at all from Miles' childhood, but we do see that Castle's parents have been married for a long time and are still very much in love, which Castle remembers fondly. Even in the beginning of his story, we can see how his loving and warm-hearted parents really helped shape him to who he is today. You know that saying that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree? Well, in a lot of cases, that is actually pretty accurate. So I'm a paramedic in real life, and I can say with my own eyes that if children are raised from awful parents, they are very likely to become awful people. And if kids are raised in a good environment with at least a decent support structure, then they are very likely to become good people themselves. So it's nice to see Miles Campbell being the beacon of light in a sometimes dark Team Rainbow. Anyways, we see that Miles graduated high school and moved on to the California State University and ended up graduating with a bachelor's degree in science and criminal justice. Now, here's the part in Castle's lore where a lot of people think he may have had a past as a football player. Now, I scoured the internet for a definitive 100% answer if Castle actually played for the NFL or college or not. And to be honest, as I'm writing the script, I'm still unsure. Like, the only real mention of football in his bio from the official Ubisoft website is when he was just talking about football with Harry during the psychological evaluation. And even in the Rainbow Six Siege fandom forums, it said the same thing. In-game bio, same thing. But then over here on Rainbow Six Wikipedia, it says, Miles Campbell graduated from California State, LA with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and promptly joins the LAPD after formerly playing in the NFL. but I have no idea where they got that from, like, to be honest. Yeah, Castle has a couple football helmet skins, and Ubisoft even played on the meme and gave Castle a full football uniform and headgear in the battle pass. I mean, in all reality, it doesn't really matter if he played in the NFL or not. It was just a fun thing searching everywhere for proof, but ultimately I'm still unsure. Sorry for all that, everyone. I just wanted to see if Castle played in the NFL or not. Well, moving on, after Castle graduated college, he joined the LAPD pretty much as soon as he could. With the LAPD, he would undergo a ton of training as an officer. He ended up being promoted to the LAPD SWAT division due to him becoming more and more proficient with each mission. If you and your team are having an issue during an operation, Castle is your guy. He excelled in tactical support and high-risk incidents. Miles is very careful when on these missions. He's dynamic, and this rewarded him with upgrading to a captain pretty early on his career compared to others. Now, Castle had such a deep compassion for every member of his team. He was probably a really good leader and someone the officers he commanded looked up to highly. He worked tirelessly on everyone's safety and would constantly try to perfect defense and reinforcement techniques equipment. Since Castle was progressing quickly in his career, why not push him a little further, eh? After 3 years with the LAPD SWAT, he was then transferred to the FBI as a field agent and started to train with the GSG-9 while he worked there, and I thought that was actually pretty cool. Now, I wonder if he happened to cross paths with any of the fellow GSG-9 operators we all know today, you know, like Blitz, Bandit, and IQ. Now, with 2 years under his belt with the FBI, they suggested that he be recruited into the FBI SWAT division where some of the best specialists would work. Since Castle was such an easygoing guy and had a special way on teaching people things, he was instructed to teach other international law enforcement agencies. And again, we see some familiar CTUs with Castle doing cross-department training with the SAS and the GIGN. Now, quick trivia question for you guys watching the video. I want you to name all the GIGN operators in Rainbow Six Siege. Now, let me know your answer in the comments below. It may be a little tricky. Now, I do have a cool story to tell you guys on how Castle got inspired to make his armor panels when he eventually joins Team Rainbow. So he was working with the FBI SWAT on an operation when they had to extract a hostage. On his way out with the hostage, he got cornered by the hostiles and had to seek cover in a super small building not far from the operation site. This tiny little building didn't even have a door, and that was a huge problem for Miles and the hostage because the hostiles would have a direct line of sight on them. So inside this building, he found a very old blanket and a staple gun. He crafted, honestly, a pretty lame door barricade with nailing the blanket to the door frame. Like, it was never going to stop any bullets at all, but at least it blocked a line of sight that if it was left open would have very likely led to their deaths, I can only imagine. Eventually, backup arrived and pushed back the enemies, but that little blanket and that old staple gun would be the inspiration for Castle's UTP-1 Universal Tactical Panels he would make when joining Team Rainbow. I thought that was a cool story. Now, in 2015, when Team Rainbow was getting reactivated by the original 6, Aurelia or not, she was looking for the best operators in the FBI SWAT had to offer. Along with Castle, she also recruited Ash, Thermite, and Pulse from the SWAT, all of them being either good friends with Castle or good teammates when they ended up joining Team Rainbow and met each other. Anyway, since Miles is now an op on Team Rainbow, he needs a psychological evaluation done just to confirm that he isn't literally insane. So at the time, Dr. Harishva or Harry Pandy was a psychiatrist but recently became the 6th of Team Rainbow. Harry and Castle sit down for a long talk where he tries to get to know Castle to figure out what type of person he is. And well, this is what Harry had to say about Castle. Within minutes of my first meeting with Specialist Campbell, it was like being with an old friend. He has an easygoing manner. We joked over American football and our football. Side note, look up the origins of the word soccer. I have 20 quid bet on it. Reports repeatedly mention that Campbell is referred to as Papa Bear or the diplomat among Rainbow operators. He described how he smoothed over a heated discussion between 2 operators the other night. It's clear that he's the team's social glue. This and his openness means that Campbell can be grouped with any member of Team Rainbow. I'm not surprised that he's the one with whom Specialist Eliza Ash Cohen feels the most comfortable. His sense of fair play is clearly in both his personal and professional life. I wondered if it was even a struggle for him given what he's seen. Without hesitation, he told me his job is to protect those who can't protect themselves. Beyond the sense of justice that motivates him, he has a desire to transform things for the better. Our discussion explored his appreciation of his teammates, world cultures, and his love for the abused dogs he's rescued. Campbell's a curious person, someone who enjoys learning for learning's sake. Habitually staying up late to watch any sort of documentary certainly makes him a kindred spirit for me. He draws his positive energy from his parents, who have been married for 42 years and are still madly in love. Along with inheriting their work ethic, it's their playfulness he tries to emulate. Campbell is a hopeful person. He believes in the potential of people, all people, and wants to be an agent of change. He's so concerned for others that he may overlook his own needs. I suspect that this is what sparked his recent blow up after a training exercise. His frustration with himself is evident. One of his strategies hadn't played out the way he had hoped. Clearly, we need to make sure that he gets as much encouragement as he offers to the others. Signed, Dr. Harishva Harry Pandey, director of Team Rainbow. So clearly, guys, Castle is just one hell of a guy. Being the glue that holds Team Rainbow together and rescuing dogs from awful situations makes me like him even more. No one has a problem with him on Team Rainbow, well, at least what I can find. And I just can't help but think that he might just play a bigger role in the quote-unquote Arctic Civil War that's happening right now between Team Ash and Rainbow with Team Callie and Nighthaven. Speaking of Ash and Rainbow, Ash was the sole reason why Flores is a member of Team Rainbow today. At first, it was kind of a mystery why she recruited Flores, you know, the criminal, into Rainbow, but we just found out, like literally less than a week ago, the true reasons on why she recruited Flores. I made a video about it if you want to go check it out. It's over the brand new comic that Ubisoft released and has a lot of juicy details in there I was really not expecting. The link for that will be in the description below. Well, anyways, the only reason why I bring that all up is because Castle was actually there to help recruit Flores into Team Rainbow alongside Goyo. Ash tasked them to find him and deliver a message from Ash to possibly be recruited into the team. Castle used some of his bargaining and hospitality skills to help convince Flores to join, and it worked out well as we now see Flores as the newest member of Team Rainbow at the time of the recording for this video. Now, I do have one last thing I want to talk to you guys about Miles Campbell though. Y'all want to learn how Castle made his UTP-1 Universal Tactical Panels? Huh? Remember how he was inspired by that operation with the hostage so long ago? Well, now he can actually refine his prototype with the best tools Team Rainbow has to offer. Now here's the device evaluation that Castle himself wrote about his armor panels. Simple and sweet. That's how I like it. When I first joined Rainbow, the text started showing me all sorts of contraptions, but I wasn't going to be someone's guinea pig. Do you know how many times Bandit complained about getting shocked or Maverick sucked on his fingers because the torch ran too hot? From what I understand, my universal panels are unique because they use nucleation, which allows the carbon nanotubes to guide polymers into longer chains. This makes for even stronger panels, the kind of toughness that Kevlar can't approach. And then in the device evaluation, I see this little star thing, so that when you go down a little farther, it said I had to memorize that part so I could recite it to specialist Chul Kwung Vigil Hwa in Korean. So I'm kind of having a hard time understanding what he means by that. So Castle says this makes for even stronger panels, the kind of toughness that Kevlar can't approach. And I'm wondering if he's trying to remember in Korean to tell Vigil, is it because Vigil wears Kevlar armor and he's trying to, I don't know, flex on Vigil that he has these armor panels that he created instead of Kevlar armor? I'm just kind of confused with that. Can anybody help me out with that and let me know in the comments below? Moving on with the device evaluation, and Castle goes on and says, and I'm fine with that. All these nanotubes make for a lighter load. Just roll them down, nail them into place, and we're ready to throw down. Better than those heavy ass deployable shields. Signed, Specialist Miles Castle Campbell. All right, guys, now with the device evaluation done and everything else I can possibly think about for Castle's lore, I think we're all caught up here. Who do you want to see the next Operator lore video? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to notifications if you're new. Now, with all that being said, Jeppy out!